This game was bonkers. Bottom of the 18th. Walk me off. Freddie Freeman in the bottom of the 18th inning wins it for the Dodgers. Game 3 of the World Series, 6-5. His 19th career walk-off. That's most among active players. And if you remember, he hit the walk-off homer in Game 1 of the World Series last year at Dodger Stadium. Back at Dodger Stadium this year for Game 3, and Freddie Freeman ends it with a solo homer in the bottom of the 18th inning. This game had everything and then some. It was wild. 6 hours and 39 minutes long, and the Dodgers take a 2-1 series lead. Woo! Wow. Bobby Valentine, Will Middlebrooks, Lewis Brinson, Hakeem Dermish here with you. 6 hours, 39 minutes, 18 innings, 19 pitchers, 609 pitches, and it ends, Will, with Freddie Freeman hitting a walk-off homer. A legend continues.
I mean, Freddie almost made us forget about the night Shohei Ohtani had, the night Teoscar Hernandez had, because there were 2 games played, essentially, right? And Freddie Freeman coming up huge. He's had 19 walk-offs in his career.
Yep.
Absolutely absurd. Slow heartbeat in the big moment. No one else you wanted up there. That was the guy.
I mean, Freddie's been doing this, obviously, like we just stated, for a while now. Him coming up big again, and then you remember last year in the World Series, Game 1, another walk-off. I was waiting for him to go scream in his dad's face again.
He was back there in the first row.
Yeah, he was back there all game watching. But what a game, what defensive plays, pitching performances. Talk about the bullpens, man. What a crazy, wild game. You saw Yoshi about to come in the game, too.
Yoshi Yamamoto was about
to come in this game.
That's how bonkers
105 pitches 2 days ago.
that this game was. Freddie Freeman adds to the legend that is Freddie Freeman because he homers in Game 1 of the World Series last year, walk-off homer. The grand slam was incredible. And then here in the bottom of the 18th, because in 2018, we had a walk-off that went the way of the Dodgers against the Red Sox. That was their only win in the series. Max Muncy played the hero. Here in this one, it's Freddie Freeman. Also a hero in this game, Bobby V, was Shohei Ohtani.
Weird.
2 doubles, 2 home runs. He walked 5 times, 4 of them intentionally, and he was on base 9 times.
Yeah, he's superhuman. There's no doubt about that. He was superhuman tonight. And Freddie had some opportunities early. And for one of the first times in my watching Freddie play, he was frustrated. He was popping balls up that he should have been hitting. And finally, he got up there and did what he could do. But Shohei showed the world why he plays on the team that money can buy, and he's the guy that God can make because there's only one of him.
Like you said, during the end of that game, if he hits a home run here, they're going to have to suspend him. They're going to have to
be illegal.
Like I said, it's got to be illegal at this point. We're going to have to, test his blood or something. But yeah, we forget about the night that Shohei had. Just another unbelievable game by him. Again, the defense played in this game, but again, back to Freddie Freeman. I mean, what a swing. He was sick of it. Like you said, he was a little frustrated. You could see he's missing balls that, just getting to the warning track. He's fouling stuff off. He's been doing it all postseason, and he finally gets the one dead center, man. What a swing by Freddie.
2 for 7. A lot of frustrating at-bats. There have been the entire postseason for him, but all of a sudden, all that's wiped clean. And this is the one you remember.
Forget about all that, yeah.
It was absolutely bonkers. I mean, when you talk about both bullpens, both bullpens stood strong. Of course, one in the end is not going to have the happy ending. Brendan Little gives it up. But, you want to talk about what the Dodgers bullpen did, and we were knocking them, right? We're like, what's the Dodgers bullpen going to do? 9 pitchers cover 13 1/3, allow 1 run. Will Klein goes 4 innings, 1 hit, 2 walks, 5 strikeouts. This kid, people are going to remember his name for a while because of what he did in this game to keep the Blue Jays in check, Will.
Yeah, Henriquez, another guy who hadn't thrown much as far as bulk innings went worked into a third inning. He threw the ball well. Will Klein covering 4. This is a bullpen that had a 6.5 ERA in the postseason coming into this. And we all said pregame, you got to get in the bullpen. They more than got in the bullpen, Bobby. They got in there. They got every bit of it. But 13 in the third covered. It's so hard to keep your focus in games that go this long. I've never played in a game that long. I've never played in one past the 15th. But you get to the 12th, 13th, and you're just thinking any way possible. You're not stringing together hits. You're waiting for someone to get the big swing and hit homers just because you're out of gas.
Oh, yeah.
How about Will Smith catching that whole game?
He's got to catch later today.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I mean, you talk about this bullpen, but the bullpen had a 6 ERA this postseason, but we found some new names in this bullpen. Will Klein, man, that guy's hats off to Will Klein, man, giving them 74 pitches, I think it was. Him coming out of the bullpen, giving them length like he did. Just like you said, Henriquez, they got guys throwing 99, 102. Like you said later in the innings, imagine being in the 17th inning and the guy's still throwing 100 and a guy's still throwing 99. I mean, we found out some new names coming out of this Dodger bullpen. They got some flamethrowers down there, and they made a name for themselves tonight.
Klein hadn't thrown more than 30 pitches in his career in a big league game. 74. That's huge.
It's for the boys.
Huge.
Yeah, I mean, that's like Nate Eovaldi-esque when in that Game 3 in 2018, as this ties the record for longest World Series game, 18 innings. There were 3 plays at the plate. 2 guys were thrown out. 1 was safe. There were 2 plays at third. Vladdy threw out Teoscar Hernandez. Tommy Edman threw out IKF. And that sort of leads me to where we also have to mention is that George Springer got hurt in this game.
Yeah.
He was taken out in the 7th inning. Potential oblique injury, and he's replaced. Ty France has to come into this game. If they don't have George Springer, I mean, this is, to say the least, this is massive for Toronto.
If it's an oblique, which we've seen this a million times. You watch baseball long enough, you know that swing, the grimace, the grab the side. That's weeks.
Yep.
He's not, if that's what that is, even if it's a mild oblique, he's not playing anymore in this World Series. That leaves a massive void in that lineup. It takes away a lot of power. It takes a lot of experience. Yes, he's still going to be there with these guys, but you need him at the top of that lineup.
Yeah, you talk about George. I mean, he's a warrior. I'm sure he's going to go back there and probably try to give it a go tomorrow, honestly.
No shot.
No, I'm not saying he's going to be in the game. I'm just saying he has that mentality, that competitive nature in him to try to see how he feels tomorrow. But talk about, man, they're going to have to piece him back together. You talk about his knee, talk about the oblique. Like, I agree with you, Will.
Pitch.
Yeah, hit by pitch on the wrist. I agree with you, Will. He's done. You know, oblique, that's weeks in a time, and you still have to swing, and he has a lot of torque in that swing. So, man, that is a huge loss to this Blue Jays lineup. At the top of this Blue Jays lineup, that's a huge power threat.
Well, they need him.
Yeah, they need him.
When you're playing a team like the Dodgers, you needed all your stars. You need
everybody
all
on
these guys
deck.
performing, and now you're missing one of your main guys.
Yeah.
The one thing that I want to address, because I think that we look at this as potentially a long series, right? Bo Bichette is lifted, right, on the 7th pitch of the at-bat in that 7th inning, RBI single to make it 5-4, hours and hours and hours and hours and hours ago, right? IKF pinch runs for Bo. So if Bo Bichette is not going to play a full game here, Bobby, and you've got him batting behind Vladdy, how do you go forth with that mindset? Because you're not going to pitch to Vladdy because you're going to pitch around him and go to IKF. So there's a big decision here moving forward in these games 4 through whatever we end up getting, because that's a big situation. If Bo can't play, and they certainly could have used his bat later in the innings here.
Yeah, well, you know, we're bragging on the Dodgers bullpen and they were down, but you got to brag on this Toronto team. They did play half of this game without Bo.
Right.
They played only 2/3 of the game with Kirk in the game. He was pinch run
A
for.
ton of replacements.
George came out of the game half of the game, and their bullpen went knock for knock with the Dodgers bullpen. So I'm tipping my hat to Toronto for staying with the Dodgers for 18 innings without 3 of their soldiers in the lineup and with their entire bullpen being spent. A hell of a game by both sides.
Yeah, that's going to be a question that John Snyder's going to have to figure out with Bo Bichette. If he's not going to play a full game, How are you going to manage that rest of way?
Connor Falefa is the guy to come in for him. He's the second baseman. He can run. He comes in for – you're not scared of him. He can give you good at-bats.
Right.
He can hit a single, maybe a double. He's not Bo Bichette, right? And then all of a sudden you just, like you said, circle Guerrero, take your base. We don't have to pitch to you.
Exactly, like they did with Shohei Ohtani, but we forget Bo had a big hit down the line earlier in this game to score Vlad. By the way, great slide by Vlad there. But yeah, IKF, he's not really a power threat, right? Not a guy that you expect to knock in some runs. Like you said, gonna have good at bats, gonna play some good defense, good base runner. But yeah, just not as scary as Bo. But we'll see. What they
even more important now without Springer, because that's one less power bat. This is just one guy the Dodgers really have to worry about now.
And there's no rest for the weary. There's no day off.
Bo could be in the entire game tomorrow at DH.
Could be.
George,
especially if George
now
is
you're
out.
going to see him get all of his at-bats at DH.
That's a good point.
Play that entire game. Put
unless there's a spot you need him to
up there.
score.
Exactly, and then that would work. And I think the other change in the lineup, Ohtani's got to be down the lineup somewhere. He can't be leading off at the bottom of their lineup, not getting on. Four balls. It's boring for me, and it's got to be really boring for the Dodgers.
Well, tomorrow is today.
Oh, that's right. Did I say tomorrow?
We have a game 4 to get ready for.
Good morning.
As the Dodgers take a 2-1 series lead thanks to Freddie Freeman, who walks it off in the bottom of the 18th inning, one of the wildest games you will ever see in baseball history. All right, back here with Bobby Valentine, Will Middlebrooks, and Lewis Brinson. Ohtani starting on the mound in Game 4 of the World Series. We had this marathon game on Monday night, Bobby. What do you think Ohtani will have in store for us for an encore on the mound? Because 10 strikeouts over 6 scoreless some 10 days ago.
Yeah, but he was on base 9 times.
Yes.
And so his legs are tired. And you saw him cramp up a little, which could be a problem, actually, if it was anything more than a cramp. But heck, he's running around the bases. He's on his legs for 6 hours, or at least half of 6 hours, because he's special. I think he's going to pitch 8 innings tomorrow, and he's going to be
8 innings? Wow. 8 innings.
Because he's going to pick up the slack. He sees what happened with that bullpen, and he's going to say, boys, this is my turn. You guys watch and rest a while.
That's exactly what they need length from him, right? He's gone 6 innings in both of his postseason starts. Obviously, the last one you alluded to with the 10 punch-outs against Milwaukee. He needs to go at least 6. If he goes 7, that's great. 8, Bobby, that'd be amazing. Because that bullpen, as we know, they literally have used everyone, right? And guys that can give them length can't go for a couple days. So they need him to cover a lot of innings. I'm sure he'll do something special offensively, too, let's be honest.
I'm sure Shohei Ohtani will be just fine tomorrow. I expect him, I don't know about 8 innings, but I expect him to give the Dodgers some length. Obviously, like you said, put the boys on his back, probably with his arm and with the bat tomorrow. But I expect him to have a great outing today, if you will. Yeah.
He keeps saying that.
I expect him to go, as long as Dave Roberts needs him. I mean, Shohei Ohtani is human. He's going to need to get some sleep. But I expect that curveball, I expect that sweeper, and I expect that splitter and fastball to be working just fine. But like you said, Bobby, he was on his legs a lot tonight, and he did have that cramp. Hopefully it's not anything too serious, but I expect him to be just fine tomorrow.
Here's the big question. He always gets 10 hours of sleep. So you have time to go crawl in his hyperbaric chamber and get his 10 hours of sleep.
Plenty of time.
Right? Plenty of time, right? He'll be locked in.
Just sleep all the way up until first pitch.
Yeah, he'll be fine.
Shane Bieber gets the ball for the Blue Jays in Game 4. Last time we saw him in Game 7 of the ALCS, he went 3 2/3, gave up 2 runs. So the $1 million question for him and the Blue Jays is, what do they need from him in Game 4, down 2 games to 1?
I mean, more of the same, right? You need length. You need him to get efficient outs and be in the zone with mixing speeds and getting soft contact. He can't chase strikeouts tomorrow. He can't. That's how you run into those 6, 7, 8+ pitch at bats. He can't do that, or he'll be out of that game early, and neither of these teams can handle that.
I'm really anxious to see whether or not Will Smith is in the lineup tomorrow. He caught a doubleheader today. It was really stressful. I think they should give him a day off tomorrow, even though it's the World Series. Maybe, have him there for a pinch hit and catch the last 3 innings of the game. But his legs have got to be tired.
So who would that be? Ben Rortvedt?
Yep.
Rortvedt?
But do you think, honestly, he would want to take the day off?
No
right?
chance. It's the World Series.
I don't think it's a want. I think when he walks in and gets into the ice tub or whatever it is, that training room's going to say, hey, Will, this isn't right. I mean, guys don't catch doubleheaders.
Right.
And they don't come back and even after extra inning games, come back and catch the next day sometimes. And this was 18 innings. He caught, maybe 300 pitches, didn't he? And caught a couple off his arm, too.
Yeah, of course. He got beat up back there.
Yeah.
This is just...
I know it's the World Series.
It's the World Series.
I
know it's tough.
I know.
But
tough.
You can't go in. What's tough, too, is it's 3 games in a row, right? You just had the off day. You're there in L.A. for 3 straight. This is where you got to bear down.
Yeah.
And these are going to be the games you remember the rest of your life. Obviously, the 18-inning game is going to stand out. There's no chance they keep him out of that.
There's no chance.
He will fist fight Dave Roberts if he has.
There's no chance he's out of that lineup. And Will Smith, obviously, we all know Will Smith is a warrior, and he's one of the backbones to this team. But as far as Shane Bieber tomorrow, like I said, he's got to be efficient in the zone. He's got to give them length. Like I said, he was about to come in this game tonight if they really needed him, but he's got to have the breaking ball working. He's got to be, like I said, he's got to be efficient with every single one of his pitches because these Dodger hitters, man, even though some of these guys are struggling, Freddie, Freeman, I think Mookie, obviously he's got to get going. You still got Shohei, even though he's starting, but ultimately he's got to give them length tomorrow because the bullpen was, shot today.
This was a fun game. It's going to be a very interesting game tomorrow.
Very interesting.
With everyone dragging, they're going to be heavy. You play essentially 2 games today. With the pitching how it is, it'll be fun to see how it shakes out.
How would you manage a game like this knowing what just happened, the turnaround that your players have to make? I know what you just said about Will Smith and giving him perhaps the day off, but how would you manage this situation?
Well, carefully, obviously, but I wouldn't want anybody to get so far underwater by playing tomorrow that they're shot for the rest of the series. I think you got a 2-1 lead right now with the Dodgers. You have a chance of taking a deep breath. You could bring guys in the second half of the game if necessary, but right now, I think you have to play it like you have the lead, and you got to protect that lead and not do anything so silly that can jeopardize what you already have.
Well, when they say no rest for the weary, they mean no joke. Game 4 of the World Series, just hours after Game 3 of the World Series ended in dramatic fashion with Freddie Freeman hitting a walk-off homer to win it 6-5 and take a 2-1 series lead. And we will be here pre-game and post-game all through the night. You can count on us, Bobby V, Will Middlebrooks, Lewis Brinson, myself. We're going to be here for you through the end of the World Series. No matter what time it finishes, it's coverage you will not get anywhere else right here on CBS Sports HQ. Let's get back out to Dodger Stadium where we find former MLB Executive of the Year and CBS Sports Baseball insider Jim Bowden. Jim, Freddie Freeman, Shohei Ohtani, the defense, the bullpen. This game was awesome. It had everything that you want in a baseball game. It made you romantic. It made you tired. It made you upset. It made you excited. It made you angry. It was emotional from the 7th inning to the 18th inning. But I want to start with Freddie Freeman. Take me through the moment when he hits the walk-off there at Dodger Stadium.
Yeah, it was amazing because the scene here at Dodger Stadium was incredible. This is as loud as I've ever heard Dodger Stadium over the years, including last year's World Series. The fans got here early, they sat in their seats, and they sat there for all 18 innings. That was amazing. And when Freddie hit the ball, you could just look around the stadium. Everybody was on their feet with anticipation because we'd seen a couple balls go to the warning track that kind of died. Will Smith hit one that almost went out. But the ball just kept on going, and, of course, this place went absolutely nuts, and then it just didn't stop, and it was really fun watching the celebration. Dodgers players, families went on the field as if it was almost a clinch. Nobody wanted to get off. The fans didn't want to leave. It was just an incredible scene, and, of course, a huge win for the Los Angeles Dodgers. It hit every emotion. We had so many incredible moments. You mentioned Shohei Ohtani, Akeem. I mean, just imagine 2 doubles, 2 homers, 4 intentional intentional and then an intentional walk.
Yep.
So 5 walks. No one's ever reached base 9 times
Ridiculous.
in a World Series. It was absolutely incredible.
Yeah, Freddie Freeman, the first player with 2 walk-off homers in World Series history. Ohtani makes history just walking the bases. This game was played so precise defensively. It was matched so well in the bullpen. We saw a kid, Will Klein, that pitched his arm off, essentially. I mean, this is a kid that had never pitched this long in a game, and he went out there and just anchored that bullpen. Jim, this could be the difference in the series, that what this bullpen did on this night in Game 3.
Yeah, Akeem, no doubt. And I think we have to go back and, Blake Trinan is that only reliever that gave up a run, right? Mm-hmm. Of all the relievers. But all those young arms, the lefty Justin Wroblewski throwing 97, he was incredible. Roki Sasaki came in and was dominant. Emmett Sheehan came in, dominant. Clayton Kershaw, bases loaded, 2 outs, 3-2 count, everything on the line. Gets the ground out at second base. Yeah, it was ball 4, but still got out of that jam. It was just an incredible job, and as you mentioned, Will Klein finishing the job, getting the win, and we even had Yamamoto warming in the bullpen just in case we went to 19 innings. So the pitching was amazing.
The Dodgers bullpen covered 13 1/3, 9 pitchers combined to allow just 1 run. And credit to Eric Lauer as well in the Blue Jays bullpen. Credit to the guys going out there, being able to hang with the Dodgers, because multiple times they're seeing the heart of this order come up and are able to silence them. But finally, it's Freddie Freeman in the end. Jim, when you look at now spinning the page and turning the page to Game 4, what might this impact this Game 4 that's going to be played just a few hours later?
Yeah, I mean, obviously you're going to have a lot of tired players, right? So, Will Smith just caught 18 innings. So, what's his legs going to feel like tomorrow, right? How's Shohei Ohtani going to feel after the getting on base 9 times today? A lot of questions there. I think on the other side, what was interesting in this game, though, for the Blue Jays side, George Springer left the game early with an oblique injury. Bo Bichette left the game. Of course, we know he's been fighting with the knee. But then, for whatever reason, they take out Addison Barger for Miles Shaw. That was like Miles Straw. That was a move that we all kind of just scratched our head. And then he pinch ran for Alejandro Kirk, scratched our head on that. Think of that for a minute, Akeem. 4 of their best hitters out of the lineup. That allowed them to basically pitch around Guerrero when they needed to, and it really changed the game. I mean, that's why we went that long, because half their lineup was gone. On the other side of that, though, the Blue Jays will be more rested because half of their lineup didn't have to play 18 innings like the Dodgers did. But look, it's going to be Bieber, it's going to be Ohtani, it's going to be another classic.
Are you moving Ohtani down in the lineup for Game 4 as the hitter?
Oh, that's a great question. I don't like all the solo homers, and I think that's what you're getting to here. So for me, I'm not going to move him down because he's pitching. I'm not going to move him down because he's tired. I think he's AI. I don't think he's a human being. But that being said, I'm tired of the 1-run homers. I'll be honest with you. I want to put traffic ahead of him. So whether I move him to 2 or 3, I'd like some of these homers he's hitting to be 3-run homers. He homered early, right? But then Alejandro Kirk hits a 3-run bomb, and the Dodgers were down 3-2, right? I'd like to see some of these Ohtani homers be 3-run homers. So if I moved him down, that would be the only reason why.
Jim Bowden recapping an epic World Series Game 3 in which Freddie Freeman hits a walk-off homer in the bottom of the 18th inning. We love it. We love the drama. We love the emotion. Jim Bowden here with us on CBS Sports HQ. Jim, thank you. Always good to talk some ball with Jim from Los Angeles. And look, we got to turn around and play a Game 4 because that's how this is set up. There's no off days. There's no rest for the weary. You take a look at the 18-inning World Series games. As I mentioned, in 2018, it was Max Muncy in the bottom of the 18th to walk it off for the Dodgers. Here in 2025, it's Freddie Freeman doing something similar to what he did last year. Game 1 of the World Series, hit a walk-off grand slam, the first of its kind. Freddie Freeman, the legend grows, and the Dodgers, at the end of the day, it's one game, but it's a huge game as they take a 2-1 series lead.